refresh.
Yeah.
Evo, what I do is I bring the stream back online even with my 11 to my reflex save. That's what I do.
Oh, I gotta fix.
Nope, that was a 5. I actually rolled worse than I thought. Also, I notice you said a reflex save, but then you said that Bell gives me advantage. I don't think that we can mix 3.5 and 5e rules. So you got to pick one. Bell can give me a +2. All right.
There we go. We need pluses.
Yep, we need to add those little teeny tiny plus modifiers and a lot of them.
Okay, there.
But I think we're back fully.
Yeah, I refreshed across all places I have.
Perfect.
We're back, yay!
Perfect. Whoa. Bravo leader. Thank you for the raid. What a good time to raid, right as the show came back online after a rough crash. Perfect timing. Anyway, what were we talking about? Picking 2
social media
platforms to focus on, because obviously there is a million of them. There's more now than ever before, as everyone's making their own now.
Right.
I remember way back in the day when Google tried and everyone was like, I'm not using that. Now everyone's got one.
How many people have a MySpace account still?
You know, a surprising amount, to be honest. Now, how many people check them? I don't know. But anyway, picking 2 social media accounts, what you want to focus on, instead of just picking 2 at random, say you pick Facebook and Twitter. Issue with that is both of those are what I would consider a text-based platform. What you're going to want is you want one media-based platform, one text-based platform. The reason for that is you can have some diverse content across both. There's some room for posting the same stuff onto both, but I highly recommend don't just do the same thing on both. Would you agree that you interact differently based on which platform you're using?
Well, of course, because like you said, they act differently. So you're not going to get as much. You'll get like small comments, like maybe on YouTube. Yeah. Whereas I will sometimes get long letters private letters sent in on Twitter. Yeah.
Instagram and Twitter is a good choice. Instagram is actually just a great choice in general. For your visual media choice. I would pick that one.
And with some of those, you can actually, like for Instagram, if you're posting on Facebook, you can link the 2 so it'll post simultaneously. You can also, thank goodness, pre-program posts, so they'll come out later.
Yes, that is actually the handiest feature over there on that camp, is being able to schedule things. Remember back when you could like download third-party apps to do that through Twitter? I do. That was the nicest feature.
Well, that's back in the day when you could download an app that would thank people for following you.
Yeah, that too.
It's amazing how many people still think that happens. So when I personally thank them, they think it's an app instead of me, and they're like,
"It's funny, those don't exist. Those haven't existed for a long time now, actually."
Like, no, that's me that does that.
Yeah. Yes.
So, yeah, I do miss some of the third-party apps, but
yeah, but scheduling is super, super handy.
Yeah, but again, keep it cohesive between all of them. You want something similar. So whether it's color scheme, the same photo, pick something.
Yeah.
Yeah, like today, the shirt I'm wearing is the new color scheme that I have across my personal social media. I did everything in red and black.
Oh, fun. I did not intentional, but our logo today on the Fantasy Grounds Fridays is red and black. See? Cohesion.
Oh, cohesion. You'll do that across the board for all of them. And, fortunately, there's a lot of places that you can go make stuff for your social media for free, or, you can pay. There's people that will do art for you. It's not always that expensive. You just have to kind of look around.
Gotta look around. Speaking from experience, Fiverr is a great platform.
There you go.
Over for my personal Twitch channel, that's where I bought all of my initial emotes. We're all from there, and they're great. They weren't too expensive. So if you need logos, things like that, you just want to pay for art to be made, great platform for creating or for getting stuff created for you.
It amazes me how many people will have streams and then have no way of contacting them. Or on their stream, they don't have any of their socials at all. Guys, make sure you have, make an email address specifically for your streaming. That way you don't have to use your personal for it. Have something where people can contact you, because someone like me that might be reaching out to somebody who's streaming a Fantasy Grounds game, I might want to send you the affiliate link.
Yeah.
I can't contact you. I have to play detective often to figure out where to get a hold of these people.
Yeah, come on. Let's make Paulette's life easier.
Exactly. And not everybody has the same name or similar across their social media. So, John Doe and then their Jackie Chan on another one. It's like, I can't figure out they're the same person.
Yeah.
Cohesion. You want to have it all very similar so they can find you in case there's something interesting that you might like. You never know what affiliates, because it's not just us. There's all kinds of companies that do affiliates.
Yeah.
So that's a link you can put on your stream in your about area. That's passive income. You put it in. You don't have to mess with it every week. It's there. People find your channel. They're able to click on it.
Yep.
Let me get that link out there.
And yeah, so Cohesion is the reason why for my currently on Friday, but we might mess with that here soon because the season's about to end. But my Friday show, that's the reason why we stuck with Fabled Dice. That was originally just going to be the Curse of Strahd name, but it's a really good cohesive name. Yeah. Because before, for the few people that I know, there's a couple that have been following or seeing my streams from before I was here at Smiteworks. Each season I would change the name to kind of fit what the adventure was. So our very very first one was we just named it The Adventure, and it was great. It was fun. After that, when we did Icewind Dale, we called it Dicewind Dale. Another really great name, but that really only works for one type of game. So, yeah, it's especially important to maintain the same or very, very similar name across platforms. Understandably, you can't always get the same name across all platforms. Some of them have restrictions on characters you use, things like that. Some are just taken, like Fantasy Grounds. So you gotta kind of be creative there, but keep it similar.
And then speaking of Fantasy Grounds, if you're using Twitter, X,
it's Twitter.
See, I know it's Twitter. Eventually, we'll all have it switched over in our heads, but it'd be a while.
I'll put it this way. So there's a little tangent story, but it's kind of related to that. There's a big stadium in Salt Lake City that used to be called the Delta Center for years, and it got sold around so many times. People could not keep remembering the name so long that it's now been sold back to Delta, and it's the Delta Center again. So I will wait until it's recalled Twitter again after it's been passed around enough that they just changed the name back. It'll happen. It happens every time.
On Twitter, if you are streaming a game with Fantasy Grounds as the VTT, please hashtag us. It's the @FantasyGrounds2, not @FantasyGrounds, because that's not ours right now.
Hopefully someday
we'll
it can be.
Snag it. Yeah, but right now it's not. And if you do the hashtag, I'm not going to see that as fast. Whereas if it's the @FantasyGrounds2, it will alert the page. And, I can go in and retweet you or, whatever needs to be done. Hashtag, I look at that a few times a week.
Yeah, we have to actually go search for those.
Yeah.
You have to go dig through all that.
Because I want you to be successful too. I want your games to, be seen if you're using Fantasy Grounds, of course.
Yeah. So I guess a good topic to kind of move into is, what are some best practices for posting as, obviously if you're a streamer, you're a brand, so posting as a brand.
As a brand, for one thing, you want to make sure you are streaming regularly. And that doesn't mean you have to stream every night. Pick, 1 to 2 nights a week if that's all you can do, but make sure you do consistently those 1 to 2 nights so people see you're going to be around. Because it's amazing, usually the lifespan of a streamer is 1 month. They somehow get it in their heads that their stream's going to get, huge followings very quickly, and that doesn't necessarily happen. It can, depending on if you put yourself out there for people to find. I tell people, stream because you want to have fun. If you're wanting it to be a job, it's going to take a little while to build. And again, you're going to have to show consistency.
Yeah.
You're definitely wanting to put on your social media your dates, times, a little bit about yourself. You want to catch people's attention. Visual. You don't want to just write something. You want something that they can look at that'll catch their attention.
Yep. Fun fact also, unless it's changed, but I know specifically with Twitter, but a lot of other platforms' algorithms, they value pictures and videos over just plain text, and they value pictures and videos, and they value text over anything with a link in it, by the way. It is unfortunate, but it's how their algorithms work. They don't want you linking off site. That's why if you notice on any of the posts that I make onto my personal stuff, I put the link in the comments under it. But also try as much as you can include a relevant or tangentially relevant photograph or video.
Yeah. And make sure wherever you are posting it, if you're not putting the link there, you want the link elsewhere. So that's going to be in your About Me space. Have a link tree, where it goes to all of your, you just have to have one link you're posting, and then it's going to take you to everything else.
Yeah.
That makes life easier because after a while you will have a lot of social media links you're going to.
Well, and some platforms, Instagram, only lets you have a single link on your link to your account. So it's a good place. That's actually a really, really good topic, is setting up something like that. A decent link tree, because there is some bit of thought you need to take into what order you put things in.
Yes. Because the first thing you want them is the top one should be the thing you want people to go to. So if it's your stream, it should be where you're streaming to, whether that's Twitch, Kick, YouTube.
Yeah,
whatever.
Any of them. But the first button needs to be the one that you want them to go to, because most of the time they're going to click on it. If they click on the link, because there's Most people that view your profile won't. So then out of that, most of the people that do click on the link will only click on the first link in there. So you want to make sure that whatever one you're directing them to, whatever that first one is your most important one.
And even something like, I use Linktree. I know there's other services.
I use Beacons.
You can set those. Yeah, you can. I've seen yours. It's cute. It has the house. See, because that's this, theme for other things. The haunted house. It's awesome. You can set those up visually as well. They can be, customized. So again, they're looking at your brand. They're clicking on this going, oh, okay, yeah, I recognize this picture or I recognize this, theme.
Yeah. And as FGA said, Linktree and Beacons, and most of them have free and paid versions. And honestly, the free version for the most part is all you need. I know that with Linktree, you can't do custom backgrounds and things like that for free, but you can do custom colors. Pick a color scheme.
Colors.
If your brand is pink, like all of Paulette's stuff, or your social media is now black and red, pick those colors and make everything related to that.
Yes, my stuff before was all pink, and now it's black and red.
Oh, you're going through you're going through your edgy phase again.
Again, I was going to say again.
Yeah, again.
That's okay.
It pops back up every few years.
I may actually be doing a crafting video soon for. I've been crafting things for Cyberpunk.
Oh, cool.
So a lot of red and black.
Yeah, a lot of red and black there.
Build your brand awareness. You've got to post. You have to. And like I said, for some of them you can go ahead and you can make posts ahead of time. Mm-hmm. I know on Twitter I've got post. I found the cutest memes after Christmas last year that I would have loved to have seen to post for Christmas.
Yeah.
I've already got them planned for this year. They're already programmed in. And I had them programmed in 3 days after Christmas last year.
Yeah. You can't schedule over there, but you can save as drafts. Drafts are like huge.
Yeah. Oh, on Twitter you can schedule a year ahead of time.
Oh, can you? I didn't know you could schedule. Oh, I guess you can.
Facebook, you cannot. Facebook, I think it's 60 days.
Okay.
It's either 60 or 90. It's not as far. So I tend to stay 30 days or under on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, I sometimes now this is what I do. The memes, those are pre-programmed sometimes a month and a half ahead of time. So I'll forget what I put in there, and I even come in the morning and go, "Oh, that's really funny."
See, and then that's a little benefit to you too. Now you get to re-enjoy all those memes when you see them again and be like, "That's good." I wonder who thought of that one. Oh, it was me.
And the edgier ones are over on my private. Because this is something I have to think about. When I've been with the company for a little over 2 years now, and a couple months after I started, I posted something that people didn't like.
Oops.
And when I explained it was posted by a woman, then they thought it was funny because they thought it was rather sexist.
Whoops.
It's like, but I'm a woman and I thought it was funny, but I'll erase it, and I put it on my own.
Yeah.
So I have to think about. Yeah, you have to think about what you're posting because you don't want to alienate your audience.
Well, and maybe you do. Maybe like you want a very specific audience to a very, very specific thing, but you have to know that ahead of time. If you've cultivated an all ages, everyone's welcome audience, and then you post something like that or something else that goes completely against that, that's going to hurt you as a brand, and it hurts your chances of certain companies wanting anything to do with you. That's another thing, is not just audience wise.
You might lose your audience just from something, a simple post. They look and go, nope, like you.
Yeah, but also brands.
The opposite, they see your post and go, seems like my kind of people.
Yep. Yeah, but also brands. Brands also are very, very conscious of what you're posting. Mm-hmm. So that's another reason to be careful.
Right. So if you're thinking about going to streaming for profit, keep this in mind.
Yeah. And when I say be careful, I guess what I really mean is be mindful. It's a know what audience you're going for and what you're going for, and know that there are things that you can do that will make brands just like you less. Or I guess it's not even like you less. It's you're less marketable to them. Keep in mind if a brand wants to work with you, if a brand wants to work with you, sponsorships, anything like that, you have to also be providing something of use to them, which is advertising.
Yeah. So
yeah.
For me, and this happens a lot. Again, not everybody has an easy way for me to contact them. So there's times where I contact people on Twitch under my personal account, under my gaming account. So they're thinking, yeah, this is a bot. Or you're just trying to steal my ID. It's like, no, it's me. So I actually have my personal
me you have to worry about stealing your identity.
Yeah. So you get to see all the other good things that I don't deal with on the company side. So yeah, I have my page, my personal Twitch page set up so people can see that I work for Fantasy Grounds. So I've got my, affiliate information on there so people can click on there as well. Just recently I added Sirenscape to my page. I've got to got other affiliates I work with as well, and I forgot to put that one on there. That's got to get added later. But yeah, so if you go on mine, there's other affiliates on there.
Yeah.
Add these things. You're showing companies that you're willing to work with them.
Mm-hmm.
And they see that, It doesn't hurt once you build your brand. Reach out to companies that you love. The worst they're going to say is no.
Yeah,
best
even
they can say is yes.
Yeah, and honestly, with the reach out, this goes for that dreaded word that I bring up occasionally, networking.
And network with people that you like. If there's somebody that's a similar channel, network with them.
Yeah, and what I don't mean is, please don't go to them and say, work with me. You have to do a stream with me. Don't treat them and brands as if they're only a stepping stone to your own personal success. That's going to very quickly make people just not want to hang out with you. When I've had it on my personal thing where I've had people come and be like, they've never looked at my stuff, they've never seen any of it before. I just get a random message out of the blue. I want to do a video with you. Well, do you want to do a video with me, or do you want to do a video because you think that I have a slightly larger audience than yours and you want to take my audience? So when we say network, we mean actually like get to know brands, get to know the people that work for the brands, get to know their community managers. Same thing with other streamers or content creators. Get to know them. Actually become friends with those people.
Some pretty wonderful people out there.
Yeah. Crazy thought. Make friends in an industry based around gaming.
How? More people to have fun with. Who knew?
Yeah. But yeah, but just make sure that you're when we say networking, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Not just to further your brand, because obviously it will help, it will do that, but that shouldn't be your first thought. By the way, hello Stohove, it's good to see you.
I'll say hi, Stove. Collaborations can be a lot of fun.
Yeah, they can be.
Can even do guest spots on each other's games.
Yeah.
That's
my favorite. Some of my favorite times playing was in that game I did with River. The game I did with River the Bard was one of the most fun Dungeons and Dragons games I ever did, and it was for a stream.
Break. You do a hot tub D&D. That would be interesting.
Hello, Philima Troy. We are Fantasy Grounds Virtual Tabletop. We're specifically talking to streamers and the like using Fantasy Grounds Virtual Tabletop to do stuff. This is our weekly show. Sometimes we have guests. Sometimes we show stuff off from the program and all sorts of stuff like that. You probably came over with the raid.
And yes, Stove, this channel tends to stay PG.
Unless we have AAW on. I have to censor them every time, and it's hilarious. I love them. They're my favorite. But they get really excited about their products. And it's okay. I get excited about everyone's products.
I think what we're allowed, one F-bomb a show?
Yeah, we keep stuff PG-13. There was one. Luckily, it was pre-recorded. I had to censor like 3 or 4. Go and watch the AAW streams, and you'll see it.
You got to teach me how to do the beep button. I haven't learned how to play with that yet.
That one? You probably didn't hear it because I'll bet you Discord silenced it.
I don't have Discord. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, it probably doesn't. Let's see, anybody have any questions so far?
Yeah, I think I actually forgot to open up the question things. But hey, and now because of the crash earlier, all of my windows are kind of screwed up. Hey, by the way, Philima Troy and Double Crit Fail, thank you both for following on Twitch. How's your Friday going? Anyway, while I'm getting the question stuff fixed, I did have another question / topic that I think that we should go over, Paulette, and that is, how do you, obviously you run, or at least partially run, all of our social media stuff, right? How do you keep track of all of them? How do you keep track of, because we've got a lot. How do you keep track of everything?
I actually have a checklist, and I have certain days that I do certain jobs. I post certain things. Yeah. I literally have a checklist that I go through. I have channels set up on my bar so I can go click, click, click across every one of them. I start with Reddit and I end on Tumblr.
All right. What was your? I actually do want to know. We did just get a question from Double Crit Fail. I did see your question. We're gonna hold on to it, but I am gonna ask it. What? How did you come up with like the way that you sort that?
With mine,
your list. Yeah. How did you come up with like what is the priority?
Probably have more posts on Reddit that I have to look at than Tumblr. I might get a comment or 2 a week.
Okay.
So yeah, I do it by who's has it the most engaged.
Okay.
Of course, I don't even count where Twitch, Twitter, and although they're completely separate part of. Those are a daily constant. Facebook, those are constant.
Yeah, those are the kind of thing you need notifications for.
And this is no joke.
Notifications off.
There's times where I can't sleep. I'll sit at my desk. I'll flip on, click on the Twitter link and go answer things. that one's 24/7. You never know.
Yeah.
Facebook seems to have a quieting off period, I don't see as much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
hey,
keep things in
Stove,
order.
Thanks for subscribing.
Use.
That's a good tip. Order of use.
All double crit fails. What's a good way to approach others without being weird about it? Collaborations. I would hope that the person you want to collab with, you've already built a rapport with ahead of time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's very difficult to approach somebody that you've never talked to or never interacted with or watched their stream or anything, and just out of the blue say, I want to do a collab with you, without, having any kind of interaction. That's always going to be, weird. That's always going to be, because in their head, even if you are approaching it, in your own mindset the right way, you're thinking about it not as just, to help yourself. In their head, it's always going to seem that way if you just come at somebody out of the blue with that. I would say the best way, especially if it's a streamer, is start watching their streams. Comment in the comments, in the chat of their streams. Talk to them, get to know them, interact with their show. Eventually, they'll also start to get to know you a little bit. And then you can bring up in a message, hey, I've got this show that I also do. I'd like to do something with you. And then the other way is, honestly, and this has worked for me a few times, is throw up a more, if you really just want to just work or play games with other people, there's constantly streamers and people looking for guests and stuff on Twitter. Just post, especially if you have a number of people that you follow and follow you that monitor your stuff. Ask if anybody else is looking for guests or things like that, because sometimes there are people who just want a guest. They just want to do a game with somebody else.
I can tell you what it's like to cold call, get people on a stream, and I'm not talking Fantasy Grounds, because at least with that, I'm going in as with a company. I'm sure some of you remember the Digital Dungeon Master. I did social media for him years ago, and I literally cold called. I got a list from him of people he wanted on his stream. He named me gave me a list of the three people he wanted the most that he didn't think he'd ever get. And within 2 days, I had 2 of them.
Yeah.
And, I was nothing at all in the community. People didn't know who I was, but I was respectful in the what I asked.
Mm-hmm.
This is what I would like. This is what I'm going to do in return. We're going to have you on the channel. We want to interview you, and we're going to promote your products.
Yeah.
So, being respectful, having a nicely worded letter, it helps.
Yeah. Respect and wording things in a respectful manner really goes a long way. If you just send a message, do stream with me,